something different about today. I don't know what it is yet. The day is just starting, but there's something about today. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, Grenada, Carriacou, P.T. Martinique. How are you on this blessed Monday morning? It is April 19th, 2021. Thank you so much for tuning in to Good Morning Grenada. Always a pleasure to have you. I trust everybody had a peaceful, restful weekend, a productive weekend. Hopefully you got done all that you needed to do over the weekend. If not, there's always today to pick up and continue on that road, on that path, on that project. Good morning to the folks joining us on the GBN, Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page, the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, the website www.gbn.gd, GBN TV channel 7, 11, and 20. And of course, good morning to the listeners of Classic 105.5, 105.9, Hot 98.5, 98.7. To all the folks joining us on the Across the Caribbean as well. No, before I big up the Caribbean, I just remember the folks on the Party Grenada and Go to Fed Facebook pages. I know somebody was missing somewhere in the dance, but don't worry, I remembered. The brain not as old as I thought it was, huh? All right, now let me big up my Caribbean posse. Good morning to all the folks across the region, whichever part of the region you are. Bless up all your whole selves. It's another marvelous Monday in the land of the living. Always have to hail up the brothers and sisters, the residents in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. La Soufrière continues to be troubling the island and affecting the rest of us. But St. Vincent and the Grenadines, you continue to be in our thoughts and prayers. Relief efforts continue. Supplies are on their way. They continue to be sent to St. Vincent from across the Caribbean. Don't worry, we are with you. Good morning, all the Vincentians, even those of you who are not in St. Vincent and worried about your homeland, worried about your family and friends. Good morning to each and every one of you as well. And all our viewers and listeners across the rest of the world, whichever part of the world you are, good morning, good afternoon, good night. Hope you will have a good day, are having a good day, have had a good day. All right, let's see. It's now 21 minutes on to 7 o'clock. Let's get into this morning's word of the day. I got me hands up in the sky. Want to big up Carriacou and P.T. Martinique, playing one of my favorite artists from the Sister Isle, Mr. Golden. Good morning, Carriacou. Good morning, P.T. Martinique, all the residents on the Sister Islands. All right, yeah, let's do this. I like the song. Let's see. This morning's word of the day is forfend. Forfend. It's spelled F-O-R-F-E-N-D. Forfend. It's a verb which means forbid, to ward off or prevent, to protect or preserve. Forfend. When it was first used in the 14th century, it meant to forbid. The term is still used with this meaning in phrases like heaven forfend or God forfend, but it bears an antiquated patina communicated in our dictionary with an archaic label. Other uses of the word are current, though somewhat uncommon. Forfend comes from the Middle English word, which means so as to involve prohibition, exclusion, omission, failure, neglect, or refusal. And fenden, a variant of defenden, meaning to defend. The word of the day this morning is forfend. It's spelled F-O-R-F-E-N-D. It's a verb which means forbid, to ward off or prevent, to protect or preserve. An example of the use of the word: heaven forfend, we show evidence of loving ourselves. Another example of the use of the word: going out on their own also forfends against inbreeding, which would have a deleterious effect on the gene pool of their species. The word of the day this morning: forfend, F-O-R-F-E-N-D, a verb which means to forbid, to ward off or prevent, to protect or preserve. That's the word of the day, F-O-R-F-E-N-D, forfend. And as you go about your marvelous, magnificent Monday, the thought of the day: attitude is a choice. Happiness is a choice. Optimism is a choice. Kindness is a choice. Giving is a choice. Respect is a choice. Whatever choice you make makes you. Choose wisely. A lot of things that we do, a lot of emotions that we go through, they are choices. It's up to you to choose which path you want to take. It's up to you to decide which of these emotions that you would let affect the rest of your day. The thought of the day. Attitude is a choice. Happiness is a choice. Optimism is a choice. Kindness is a choice. Giving is a choice. Respect is a choice. Whatever choice you make makes you. Choose wisely. Choose what emotions you go through today. You decide what kind of day you have. It's all up to you. You choose. Make your choices, and that makes you. Choose wisely today and always. All right, we're going to skip what's being celebrated today and get right into some information. And it's in relation to, of course, La Soufrière volcano. According to the advisories issued by UWI over the last 24 hours, the last explosive eruption at La Soufrière volcano happened at just around 11 minutes to 5 yesterday afternoon. That was the last one recorded, and it was 52 hours since the last explosive event, so more than 2 days since the last explosive event, which I'm hoping means La Soufrière is getting ready to settle back down herself. But what is important to note for the rest of us here, especially in Grenada, possibly Trinidad and Tobago, according to the advisory, the plume or the ashfall, the wind blew it south and southwest, which means it could be affecting, it started affecting Grenada last night. Maybe around 10, 11 o'clock last night, we started to see ash fall in some areas, very light, but still there's ash fall in the area. The Meteorological Office at the Morris Bishop International Airport has issued an advisory as well to advise, especially sea users, members of the public, that expect hazy conditions, as we are also battling, in addition to ashfall, we also have a plume of Saharan dust in our atmosphere. So this advisory is specifically for our residents who have respiratory issues and so on and so forth, our asthmatic patients. Please keep that in mind, that there's ashfall in the atmosphere, there's Sahara dust in the atmosphere. So do what you need to ensure that you continue to protect yourselves. The masks we've been wearing to protect ourselves against COVID-19, it should be effective to some degree. Notice I didn't say 100%. I'm taking in front for the people who would call and tell me it's not 100% safe. It protects us to some degree. The mask has helped me with the ashfall. It has helped me with Saharan dust. So I know it helps to some degree. So keep that in mind. Ashfall in the area following the explosive eruption at La Soufrière yesterday afternoon at about 11 minutes to 5. It started affecting us last night. We also have Saharan dust in our atmosphere. So please take note. All right, now let's get ready for the morning edition of news. For those of you on radio and those of you in our visual platforms, we bring you highlights of last evening's newscast. This is Good Morning Grenada on a marvelous Monday morning. Stick and stay. We're going to be right back.
Minors are falling prey to lurking culprits. The Special Victims Unit during the Royal Grenada Police Force reported an increase in sexually related crimes recorded during the first 3 months of this year by the Special Victims Unit. Details in this report.
Statistics of adults' sexual involvement with minors under the age of 8 years. The Special Victims Unit notes that this is a cause for concern. A noticeable increase, 64.7% in sexual crimes have been recorded. Inspector Maureen Stanislas, head of the Special Victims Unit, says these victims often fall prey to people they are familiar with. The officer reiterates the need for parents to be attentive to whom they entrust their children.
2021, we had a total of 51 reports as compared to 33 in 2020, an increase of 64.7%. In 2021, of the 51 reports received, 26 reports were of the age group 11 to 16, as compared to 2020, where there were 33 reports and 16 were from the age group 11 to 16. This is of great concern to us.
The officer continued with more of what can only be categorized as disturbing statistics.
Major concern from the data that we collected is accused persons over 50 years of age and victims 8 years and under. We had an accused 59 years, the victim 3 years. We had an accused 51 years, the victim 5 years. An accused 50 years, the victim 6 years. An accused 57 years, the victim 7 years. An accused 55 years, the victim 8 years. This is of great concern to us.
A number of the accused have been charged, the officer assured, while others remain under investigation. According to Inspector Stanislas, once reports are received by the SVU, persons are referred to the Ministry of Social Development for psychosocial support. Providing statistics on the rate of crime in Grenada for the first 3 months of 2021 in comparison to the same period in 2020, Commissioner of Police Edwin Martin was pleased to note no murders have been recorded. However, there are indications of an increase and a decrease in other areas of crime, which Commissioner Martin identified.
Offences, therefore, we have seen for the quarter a 10.9% increase in offences. And that increase is driven largely by wounding offences or wounding crimes, moving from 33 in 2020 to 41 in 2021. Murder, as you are aware, for the period so far, we do not have any. For the same period last year, we had, I think, 4 murders for the same period last year. And while this is very encouraging, there are still concerns to us, because the harm offenses and the wounding offenses, any of those could have easily be a homicide. Additionally, you are well aware that we also had 3 shootings during this period.
Christina John, GBN News.
A positive trend is being witnessed in schools, and that is the increased reporting by children of abuse occurring at their home or school. According to Janine Sylvester Gill of the Grenada National Coalition of the Rights of the Child, this is due to children being more receptive and open to speak about instances of abuse amongst themselves and their peers.
Protecting our children during this pandemic is a mantra of GNCRC as they seek to create more awareness of child abuse in April. Janine Sylvester Gill, chair of the Grenada National Coalition on the Rights of the Child, says during the last year they would have received reports of neglect, physical abuse and sexual abuse among older children. Gill attributes the increased reporting by children to the work the coalition and other stakeholders have done, plus the achievements of Child Month in October.
So children are becoming more and more aware of the issue from an earlier age. And we try to get into schools and to speak with the students and say, yes, it's okay to tell someone. And that's the message that we've been giving over the years. And we're seeing then, the more we say is the more comfortable children are becoming. The schools are now providing a few more resources in that. Most schools now have access to a counselor, a trained counselor. You have Child Protection Authority doing their campaigns. So it is something that we hope for, something that we've worked towards, so that we can have no child left behind in terms of a child being afraid to speak out and to report.
She says cyberbullying also remains a big issue in Grenada among young people.
We're seeing within the region a spike in depression and suicidal attempts in the region by young persons, young children, as a result of cyberbullying. Because now everybody has WhatsApp and everybody is in a chat group and people are making all kinds of comments in the chat group to affect others. And they may not realize it at the time that they're bullying, but they're being mean. One and the same.
Gill says children are now more prone to cyberbullying via the use of technology and its devices, and is urging parents and guardians to be more alert to changes in their children or child's behavior. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
6 individuals were arrested and charged following last Saturday's incident in Riverside St. Patrick that left police officers injured. According to Commissioner of Police Edwin Martin, the officers have since returned to active duties. He deemed this act against the police as unfortunate. More in this Christina John report.
An attack on police with various projectiles thrown by defiant civilians refusing to adhere to curfew after the scaled-down annual Saraka celebration was held last Friday has led to the arrest of 6 people. Police made it clear that the incident had nothing to do with the annual Saraka, which police permitted on a scaled-down basis. Commissioner Martin explained that officers were faced with fierce resistance from those individuals who have violated the COVID-19 regulations and breached curfew hours. He said the result could have been worse.
Officers were injured, one of which received 3 stitches to his head, and that is after the missile hitting onto his cap. The officers involved in this incident, who has a right to protect themselves from harm, exhibited tremendous restraint in treating with this situation. Had they resort to the use of force, the outcome of this incident could have been worse than we are dealing with today. I want to assure you, members of the public, that this matter remains under active investigation. And to date, 6 persons have already been arrested for various offenses. And the investigation continues until we get to the bottom of this.
In addition to the 6 individuals arrested, one, Clyde Thomas, a 39-year-old shopkeeper of Latask, St. Patrick's, was arrested and charged for the offense of exposing for sale intoxicating liquor without being the holder of a liquor dealer's license. He was informed that he will be further charged for offenses under the COVID-19 regulations. This type of behavior, the officer notes, appears to be on the upswing.
As a force of what seems to be an emerging trend of resistance to officers in the execution of their duties. This is unacceptable and is probably pushing for the RGPF to change its posture. I am concerned about these issues, and I appeal here again for the public to continue to support the RGPF in the execution of these duties and to enable us, through your cooperation, to deliver the best quality service that will ensure our continued safety and security, and that we will be able to continue to boast of our competitive advantage as a safe and secure nation.
The commissioner provided an update on the status of the officers affected.
But the issue here, we continue to pursue our investigations with a view of hopefully eventually identifying individuals that might also be involved in the throwing of missiles at officers. As it relates to the health of the officers, one officer got the laceration to his head as a result and received 4 stitches. But all of the officers, as far as I understand, are still on duty, notwithstanding the injuries sustained. Commitment, loyalty, and devotion to executing the functions continue to execute their duties. I've not seen a sick leave, but I can anticipate maybe at least the one that received 4 stitches to his head probably will be proceeding on sick leave if he has not done so already.
Christelina John, GBN News.
No deaths were reported by St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves as he appeared on GBN's Beyond the Headlines program on Monday night. Prime Minister Gonsalves also disclosed that most Vincentians have chosen to remain in their country and not evacuate to neighboring islands. Details in this report.
The major consensus by citizens affected by the La Soufrière volcanic eruption is to remain in their country.
People prefer to stay at home. They say they want to stay at home. I've been around several of the camps, and that's the message.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves says most citizens have chosen to stay at home rather than be evacuated to another country.
Ships are there, but today we took the decision that because the numbers are not large, to ask the cruise ships, say thanks, and if persons want to go, we will charter smaller vessels like those from Beckway or from Canawan, which fly between the islands. There are some people who want to go to different countries, but it's not a large number.
Gonsalves has attributed better preparedness and the use of science and technology for the preliminary lack of reports of loss of life due to the numerous eruptions and pyroclastic flows from the La Soufrière volcano. Prime Minister Gonsalves says they were able to evacuate residents to the over 80 shelters opened and to individual homes and hotels.
People have opened their homes to their friends and their families and even to strangers. And that itself creates an additional demand on the government because in addition to treating with the shelters, we will have to provide food packages for persons who are also in people's homes because you may give someone shelter and you may give them food for a few days, but you're going to need some assistance yourself.
He says their main challenge is an adequate supply of water. The Prime Minister clarifies that the mandatory vaccination for evacuees, which was previously announced, was based on the neighboring country's request and that of the cruise ships, which had volunteered to assist.
Enter the shelter. You don't have to be vaccinated against COVID. That's not true. When you enter the shelter, you enter the shelter, and what we're seeking to do is to, as much as possible, to test you. But those protocols is not compulsory for you to be tested to be in the shelters. Absolutely not.
He says most have now rescinded such requests while settling for evacuees to be tested and quarantined. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
While many Grenadians have been keeping up to date with St. Vincent's La Soufrière volcano, many have not considered the effects that this event will have on food security in Grenada. According to Grenada's representative from the Caribbean Agricultural Research and Development Institute, Grenadians may soon experience a shortage of some crops. Jelana Charles reports.
The relationship between Grenada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines goes back many years, with Grenada providing a market for the export of crops such as banana and yam from the neighboring island. However, as the La Soufrière volcano continues to erupt and cover St. Vincent in ash and volcanic matter, the availability of goods for export to Grenada is now at a standstill as the island focuses on its own problems. Caribbean Agricultural Research and Development Institute representative to Grenada, Reginald Andal, made the point on GBN's Good Morning Grenada program. He said Grenada's food supply can expect to be negatively impacted by the volcano.
The negative impact in St. Vincent is going to be felt in Grenada because we have that weekly shipment of coconuts and potatoes and yams and so on from St. Vincent coming into Grenada. So that will be curtailed for a while. So that's a negative effect of that.
Speaking of the possible advantages of the situation, Andal said this may spark self-reliance in Grenadians and lead to the production and consumption of locally grown foods.
The effect is to make our local population realize that we have to be self-dependent to a much greater degree and plant more of our own local food, and not just plant more, but consume more of our own local food, because we have quite a large amount of local food which we don't really consume that much. For example, root crops like cassava, we have a lot of cassava which is consumed in very small amounts. So we want our population to consume much more of our local foods. And so the negative impact of not having some of those things coming out of St. Vincent right now will also create a positive effect on our people in Grenada, as we realize, well, hey, we need to do more in terms of producing what we can use and also consuming what we do produce.
As the volcano continues to erupt and Grenada experiences light ashfall, he assured farmers and consumers that crops, once washed thoroughly, are safe for consumption.
We really do not have much of a problem because the ashfall is very, very light. And so we're much better off than St. Vincent, of course, and also Barbados. Nevertheless, the basic principle is to wash off all the ash from your leafy vegetables and your fruits before cooking. Give them a thorough washing. Make sure you get all the ash off before cooking, because one doesn't want to consume any of those ashes.
Trelawna Charles, GBN News.
Over the weekend, the National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA, issued a statement appealing to the Grenadian public for assistance for residents on a neighboring St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Since then, a number of groups and organizations have contributed to provide relief efforts. Due to the total collapse of the water system in St. Vincent, one of the prevalent necessities appealed for is water. Many individuals, clubs, and organizations have responded to those requests with impromptu donations of water on Sunday. One of those clubs was the Rotary Club of Grenada, which donated more than 1,000 cases of water. President of the club, Henry Joseph, said after hearing of the dire water situation on the island, they were compelled to respond.
The two clubs got together, hearing of the appeal that St. Vincent made. Of course, there wasn't a lot of time, for us to act, but through the goodwill of a number of persons, we were able to accumulate about 1,000 cases of water. And luckily for us, a boat was coming and arrived yesterday at 3 o'clock. So we were able to get the water on time, label them, and the boats, took them, first of all, to Canawan. And as I understand it, they should be in St. Vincent. Well, they should have been in St. Vincent at about 3 o'clock this afternoon.
Joseph said more relief efforts will be made in the coming weeks as funds become readily available.
There is one commodity that's very scarce, and that's money. So we are trying to raise some funds through corporate donations, through some friends from abroad and that kind of thing. And once we get some funds, we would be able to buy, some of the things that are needed. It's a whole long list of items, and some of them are not available in Grenada readily. But we are hoping that by Wednesday, Thursday, we should have enough funds in hand to be able to purchase some of the much needed items.
Tonya Hyacinth, a member of the COVID response team for NADMA, said given the short notice, the level of support has been commendable, even from individuals.
A short notice of call of water, we see that many different agencies are here dropping off water to be sent to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, our sister island. We also had personal donations coming through, and this we must say thank you to the general public, but we must let you know that it doesn't end here. we will organize for another transit to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. What actually happened here is that Beckway Express actually came in to drop off some passengers who were trapped in St. Vincent and the Grenadines that are now being flown out of Grenada. So for us, we are happy to facilitate with our other agencies, and this now they have agreed to take the supplies up to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So for that, we are grateful, and we are doing what we need to do as a country to respond to our sister island.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines continue to be severely impacted by the La Soufrière volcano eruption.
Citing a number of issues, Education Minister Emmeline Pear announced the full resumption of school for the Trinity term, relaxing some rules under the COVID-19 protocol to accommodate all students and the 3 feet physical distancing. Details in this report.
Last year, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the sitting of all examinations were impacted, leaving the Caribbean Examinations Council with no choice than to have a modified version of the exams, the multiple choice or paper 1 component of the exams as the only option for grading. Education Minister Emmeline Pear on Tuesday says this is another first.
That as it relates to the CSEC examination, this year we are going to be doing paper 1 electronically. And the good news is that we are going to be doing far more than we did pre-COVID in that regard, meaning that only math and English will not be done electronically this year. It is a first for Grenada, and this, in my opinion, is commendable, the fact that we are in a crisis. Last year, we were not able to do any of the exams electronically.
CSEC and CAPE exams are set to begin in 1 month's time. Citing the challenges brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic on the education system, more so on students preparing for exams, students were given the option to defer the sitting of their CSEC and CAPE exams until 2022 if they believe they are not ready for the exams this year. However, during Tuesday's media briefing, the Education Minister says they have not had anything significant in that regard.
Locally with our principals here, the feeling was that the students in Grenada will be reasonably ready for the exam, and there was no need to have any mass deferrals of examination. Now, we have said to students here, we cannot tell you, or parents, we cannot tell you, you cannot defer because the option is available. However, what we have said is that our policy decision on deferral is that we cannot guarantee every child who chooses or every parent who decides for their child that they're not going to sit the exam this year, that they would automatically be able to return to Form 5 next year. We do not have the space.
As for primary school students preparing to sit the CPA exams, the minister says they will not be doing so online. The option has been taken into consideration for the past 2 years. However, she believes more training ought to be done.
Interestingly, this year we were going to, for the first time, be able to have our primary school students do their exam electronically for the very first time. And we took a policy decision not to proceed, even if we have all the resources available to be able to do that. The decision was taken not to, because we felt that our primary school students needed a lot more practice to use the devices, the keyboard, and so on and so forth. And so we will be ready for next year exam because we are going to be expanding our IT program at the primary school level beginning this term.
Christina John, GBN News.
All students in the schools of medicine, veterinary medicine, arts and sciences, and graduate studies will return to in-person learning on campus for the August 2021 term. St. George's University made the announcement on Thursday. Jared Joseph has more.
George's University says its leadership has considered all aspects of a safe return, placing priority on the health and safety of students, faculty and staff on campus, and that of the Grenadian community. Dr. Charles Modica, Chancellor of St. George's University, says they are very excited about a safe return to a vibrant campus. Provost Dr. Glenn Jacobs outlines SGU's plans for a safe return to campus life.
And as part of our plan for a safe return to campus life and to enjoy the things we miss or long to experience, COVID-19 vaccinations will be required for all students, faculty, staff, and administrators, vendors, and visitors on campus. Many universities around the world require COVID-19 vaccination as part of their return to a fully operational campus.
While expecting all students to eventually return to campus, the university is recognizing constraints from the situation regarding the pandemic, travel, and vaccination delivery.
Although our goal is to return all students to in-person learning as quickly as possible, we will be reasonable in our consideration of exceptions to in-person education and the use of online education for the August 2021 term.
Dr. Modica says SGU will continue to collaborate with the government of Grenada to support its public health response to combat the spread of the virus.
Introducing Color by Sissons. 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 Color by Sissons.
Ultratech gasoline and diesel, available only at Rubis stations.
Do you know what time it is? You guessed right, it's detox time again at Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center and Natural Health Store. Purchase our 7-day cleansing pack for only $500. Includes everything you need for a complete total body cleanse. Cleanse your blood, kidney, liver, and colon. This cleanse will help you lighten up and get rid of the excess. Also available are our special product detox combo pack for only $100. Try our single detox products starting from $40. Check us out now. Belmont St. George's, close to the Fall Edge area, or call us on 231-6642, 449-7753, or 418-7115. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. Detox, your way to health.
How going on, boy? Hey, good old things. Hey, Daisy. Yeah. Boy, in line, boy. Your house looking a real good day. Boy, it's thanks to the hard-working and professional staff at the Housing Authority of Grenada. They handled me real nice. They did my plan, they did the construction, and I didn't even have to worry about a thing. They were there with me every step of the way, supervising the job, asking me about my concerns, giving me feedback as the house took shape. They were there from start to finish, and even put the keys in the palm of my hand. I give them an A++ for customer service. Oh, it's people from housing bad, boy. Boy, not bad. Excellent. If you're thinking about constructing your home, why not consult the Housing Authority of Grenada? You could visit them right down in the Sandino complex, or give them a call, 440-1015 or 440-1016. Or check out their website, hag473.com. They go handle you. They go jog your blocks, they go draw your plan, they go tote your materials. Hey man, where you going? The Housing Authority of Grenada is your choice for affordable housing and a stress-free construction experience.
We are taking pride in outstanding performance. We are encouraging and recognizing innovation. We are committed to continuously doing things better, with enhanced services coming soon. Yes, we are here for you. Check us out today for your financial need. GUT Credit Union, it's where you belong.
Get Rubigas. Get cooking. Rubigas, clean, safe, and reliable LPG is the perfect solution for your commercial and everyday needs. For cooking at home or barbecuing, choose Rubigas LPG cylinders. Available in a variety of sizes from 20 to 100 pound cylinders. Rubigas LPG, clean, safe, reliable. Are you cooking with Rubigas? Get Rubis, get going.
Bruv.
Hello? I can't see you.
What's good?
But I can't even hear you.
Yo.
Hello? Hello?
Okay, I see you. I'm good. I'm coming in.
There you are.
Live the experience right now. Enjoy high-quality video calling today. Stream, upload, and share with Digicel super fast LTE network. Visit our stores today and live the experience today. Digicel.
Welcome back to Good Morning Grenada. It is 18 minutes after 7 o'clock. Thank you to those of you just joining us. Happy to have you. Those of you who stuck with us, thank you for your patience. To those of you who usually view us on the YouTube channel, I think the channel, it might be down, but we are available on all our other platforms. As soon as the YouTube channel is back up and running, of course, I'll let you know and you'll be able to join us on the platform. But in the meantime, Facebook, 2 radio stations, TV, the website gbn.gd. We're available on all the other platforms. Let's get into this morning's discussion. No sticking, because I have joining us virtually is CDEMA representative in St. Vincent, Superintendent Sylvan McIntyre, and he's here to give us some of the latest developments in relation to the La Soufrière eruption currently underway in St. Vincent. Good morning, Superintendent McIntyre. How you do, sir?
Good morning to you, Blossom, Alexis-Welsh, and morning to your viewers at distance here for us. Just about everyone, I'm fine. I've had a mango, so once I can get a mango, it's great.
I know the feeling when it comes to mango. Thank you so much for sparing us some time. So let's get right into it because we can't stick. What are some of the latest coming out of St. Vincent's ongoing eruptions? I know the last explosive eruption was recorded yesterday.
Yes, so La Soufrière continues to erupt explosively. Since almost 2 weeks ago, we've had 30 plus eruptions. Explosive, that is. The concern for ashfall is still very prevalent, but from these last few eruptions, we've had there's an ashfall in the area. So that's a good, because the airport itself is going to open sometime during the course of this week. The mood on the island and the intent is for people to now start to recover or to go in rehabilitation mode, because there are just under 10,000 persons recorded in shelter. So the big operations that are going on would be feeding and providing water to those who are in shelters. And as you can imagine, when people are out of their own space, they're out of their own homes, etc. They're having to adjust to a new environment, different attitudes, different feelings, and so can come from shelters. So we'll be monitoring that very, very closely. Obviously, one of those would be the security concerns. And we've had the last batch of regional security persons arriving on island by means of Coast Guard. So the Trinidad Coast Guard was the last vessel to arrive yesterday. And so we still have quite a few items from countries, many Caribbean. So we're not out of this by any means yet in terms of the volcanic and the release of we're not close to seeing the most things arriving here because the international community know that there are loads of containers destined for the island.
Some of what you just said, Superintendent, was a bit distorted because of connection issues. Could you just repeat some of the last things that you just said?
All right. So I was speaking about the relief effort that has kicked in, and I'm saying we're seeing an overwhelming kind of support from mainly the islands of the Caribbean, from way down South Guyana, right up to the Bahamas up in the north. What I'm saying is that we're not seeing the mass of the international community for America as yet, but from all indication, there are loads of containers on their way to support the relief item here on the island.
Okay, coming out of some of the latest UE advisories, I was a bit, heartened to see that the period between explosive eruptions are somewhat long. The advisory for yesterday afternoon's eruption, it said it was 52 hours since the last explosive event. What does that mean for the state La Soufrière is in now in terms of possibly going back to rest?
Right, so that's exactly a very, very good point where we are. It is a bit discomforting, to be honest. A lot is, in some cases, a good indicator, and in other cases, it's not. We've had that lengthy period. After we've had the series of what you call episodes of explosive eruption, the volcano went into spreading the period where we to experience the eruptions. Now, the lull could be an indicator that it is intended to go back to sleep, but that is not supported by the tectonic earthquakes being experienced. Now, when you have tectonic earthquakes occurring, it is indicating that magma is underneath and it is wanting to make its way to the surface. So even though there's a quiet period and you're having those tectonic earthquakes, you know that sometime an explosive eruption will occur. But if you're having just normal earthquakes, that is an indication that yes, it is active, but less likely to erupt anytime soon. The other aspect of that is that when it goes to the quiet stage, it gives an indication that it is building up more pressure to explode. And the other further disadvantage is that the more period that is spread out, the more frustrating it becomes for the people in shelters. And to an extent, these persons are not chained down, they're not locked in behind fence. So persons will want to go back to the places where they came from. So you can imagine if this period extends for some time, where people begin to feel, well, I'm in this place, I need to get back to see what's happening with my home. They will try to break out from the shelters and go into the areas they came from. As a matter of fact, there's a release where Dr. Ross rebuked someone who ventured volcano to capture images of what's going on there. And it was extremely dangerous. After the person returned from getting caption is when the volcano exploded again. So it's a really, really touch and go issue. One of the things is that we are not able to go into the most impacted areas to do an assessment. So yes, there could be collapsed building under the ash, and there could be persons who might have been trapped under the ash, or people who might have suffocated as a result of the gases in the area, and we can't tell because we can't go in as yet. It is not advised, it is not safe for us to go in to do an assessment. And that is the other unsettling issue that we have to deal with.
Okay, all right. Well, okay, Lord, let's hope for the best. The advisory coming out of UWI this morning, one of the points spoke of a rock fall being experienced early this morning. What's the difference between the rock fall and ash fall?
Yes, exactly. So the rock fall has to do with areas close to the crater rim of the crater, or the area very closest to the volcano itself. So the explosion have caused the landscape to become unstable, and so you can have rocks and those unstable area falling because of the explosion, and second, because of the tremors it's experienced. Now, you can also have rock spewing up from within the volcano itself because of the explosion, and you would call those the molten rocks. These are the ones that will come from inside of the volcano, and it would be hot, and it would sometimes be associated with pyroclastic flow. And the pyroclastic flow for the average person was basically liquid rock, meaning that the heat itself would have melted those rocks, and it comes in a liquid form. And the heat that comes from pyroclastic flow ranges from about 200 or 300 degrees centigrade and can go all the way up to 700 to 900 degrees centigrade. It is saying that if you are meters apart from it, you don't have to be in very, very close proximity, but persons can be steamed or roasted based on the heat that is coming from pyroclastic flow. Following on from that, we do have very credible reports that animals that were left on the loose that were not evacuated from the area, they succumbed to the heat in the area. Some of them actually baked from the heat that came from the pyroclastic flow. And the rock falls, again, expansion of that could be areas closer to some of the roadways where on the West Coast in particular, the windward side, where you do have rocks that are perched over roadways and over valleys. The vibration that comes from the volcano would lead in some of these rock falls.
I know you said the team are unable to, get closer to some of the communities closer to the volcano, but have there been reports of people unaccounted for, people who are missing, and there's a possibility that it may not be such good news for them, or everybody accounted for, everybody safe?
No. There is no definite way to account for everybody, because some people evacuated before they went to family and friends' homes. Some did not report exactly where they went. Others took small vessels and skipped the island and went to other islands, and those numbers, we still are unable to account for them. There are persons who refuse to evacuate and are still in the area, because as recently as yesterday, persons were rescued from that area by passing fishing boats, etc. And we still have persons who evacuated, went to live with other persons that have not registered themselves. So we are accounting to just under 10,000 persons. We have 4,000 plus in shelters like schools and churches, and we have an additional 5,000 plus that are living in homes like hotels, guest houses, and with friends and relatives. So we were looking at just over 11,000 persons within the red zone and orange zone, but the overall areas that had to have been evacuated amounted to just about 20,000 persons. So we're just getting closer to that number. They are changing almost every day, because as persons or people become a bit more hungry and whatnot, they would come forward. Once they get information where they can register or where they can go to a shelter, they would show up and be accounted for by that means.
Relief efforts are in the early stages of the request for relief. The primary supply was water, drinkable water, as well as hygiene kits. What are some of the additional supplies? Is water still in high demand? As well as I've seen footage of I don't want to, hold on, I'm trying to think of how to phrase it. I've seen footage of relief trucks passing in communities and people, members of the public, helping themselves to the relief efforts. How have you been able, well, maybe not you, but how has St. Vincent been able to ensure that the supplies are distributed properly?
I don't know if distribution properly would be the best thing to say. Right now, I cannot say that St. Vincent is short of water. What I would want to say is access to the water happens to be one of the challenges. The communities and places supporting water, we have a cruise ship that was able to generate hundreds of thousands of gallons of images, which I can send to the GPN later on, of some of the storage tanks, $1,000 tanks, 1,000-gallon tanks on the terminal. They have been filled by the cruise ship and other ship that's coming. We had a ship left here and went to Trinidad to bring up bulk water. We had one left from Dominica and they came down to put bulk water. So as they come, these tanks have been filled on the docks, and they have been pumped into trucks, and the trucks go around to deliver. But in addition to that, we have quite a bit of bottled water coming in. I understand Grenada was sending some water, and that get left back behind as well because the Coast Guard vessel could not have even taken the amount coming our way. So we're hoping to make arrangement to get it on island later on. So there's lots and lots of water on the island, to be honest. We have storeroom with water, holding bonds on the docks and wharf, have hundreds of thousands of bottles of water, and the distribution process continues throughout shelter. There is also no shortage of food, really. The communities have been really generous, and the people who have been working behind the scenes providing these packages. I also have taken some images, footage of the distribution and packing process, which I will provide sometime later on. That in itself, you see a production line where people are packaging these boxes for families, for shelters. We have just about 85 shelters where persons are in right now. And every day, people are being provided food and bottled water, and they are provided with trucked water, put in those tanks to ensure sanitizing, showering, and so could really take place. So really and truly, we are approaching, in my estimation, the mid-phase of this emergency. The end cannot be near inside because everything that we do is really based on what the volcano would really do. So my advice to the authority on island, I have raised it from the very first time I engaged them, that we have to plan the exit strategy. How do you get people to be rehabilitated, get back into mid-term or long-term homes, get them a school system resuscitated, get children back in school, because all of this, most of the schools in Kingston, in the green zone, they are occupied with people. And this process, this cannot go on for very, very long because it's going to affect other aspects of the economy, including the food supply. The advice is to from here on, to ask people to be able to contribute in cash so that even the local commercial activities that should be encouraged to happen. And that is happening. People are moving as normal. Banks are open. The market flooded with food stuff, vegetables, etc. So people stores are open. So life is good and normal in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, even except that one cannot venture into the red zones. It's not advised. And the aspect of providing feeding, providing water, sanitation, and some medical conditions to people who are in shelter. That's the overarching condition. And the challenge we are, just to reemphasize an aspect of the relief and so that's coming in, how we can put them in warehouses, repackage and distribute. We've had approval for the Annisville Old Airport, that's the E.T. Joshua Airport airstrip. The state has given us the northern section of that airstrip to put down some massive warehousing mobile unit. It's called MSU, mobile unit. And these units range from 30 to 75 feet in width and length. And so that area is going to be used as a hub where containers will be pulled, they will be stripped, resorted, and sent out. And a distribution network will continue from the serving the shelters across country. So St. Vincent has worked into a nice system in feeding and providing water and sanitation to everybody. The Prime Minister denied access to food or water because every island, 100,000+ people have been directly and indirectly impacted. So if someone shows up at a shelter, they will get food. They show up at a distribution point, they will get food and they will get water. All they will be required to do is to register so we ensure that people are not taking unnecessary advantage of the process. It could be equitable distribution, and the person who are moving will be provided with the relief supplies.
Somebody on Facebook is inquiring if there are any officers of the Royal Grenada Police Force in St. Vincent assisting with security efforts.
Okay, yes, absolutely. I had my pleasure of receiving the salute for officers who were the Sergeant Moses, Sergeant among those folks that showed up, and then they were the group that we have here. Part of the CARICOM disaster relief unit, and the element will form part of the RSS security element. So there are two elements. And what happened is that the persons who are providing the security service for comprising the RSS, the Barbados Defense Force, the St. Lucia, the Grenada, and Dominica, etc., these persons had to be sworn or sworn as special constables, meaning they would have authority to carry weapons and be a law enforcement person in St. Vincent. It's part of the Caribbean arrangement that once a law enforcement person comes in, they are sworn in. So we have equal law enforcement authority as the police from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So that was nice to see the troops coming. So Grenada is very much a part of this process.
And finally, Sylvan, the cleanup process. I know we're still far from what would be the complete cleanup, but some sort of cleaning up has started to take place, but it seems to be a daunting task. What can you tell us about what it'll take to at least start the cleanup process in St. Vincent?
Right. So the ash spread around the island is frustrating, it's disgusting a lot of times. As you move around, you have to be wearing your mask. So obviously mask became the new norm. And goggles we have to wear for the protection sometimes. And ash is just about everywhere. You don't see it sometimes very obvious, but it settles on roof and grass, etc. So it takes around. In the areas where the concentration is greater, there are small cleanup bots, etc., and scrapers that move around and persons are taking them back in and putting them into the agricultural places, and some persons are even making blocks, etc., out of the ash. So cleanup is taking place around the country, and wash is not really encouraged for consumption of water, but the rivers in some places, they are becoming a bit clearer. So pumping water from some of these areas is being used to wash down areas, so you need to have some kind of a release from the ash itself. So yes, the cleanup process has started.
All right. Thank you very much, Superintendent McIntyre, for sparing some time, giving us an update on La Soufrière. Always a pleasure to hear from you, sir. Always informative, and I appreciate your time this morning.
My pleasure all the time to be able to be of service, not just to Grenada, but just about anyone and everywhere who needs it. I can say I think Grenada was expecting me to return by this time. However, La Soufrière did not permit that. The people has requested me to remain on to see the process walk through to a point. And I think to add to my own personal comfort level, to see I've been here before, walking through it, I am getting the sense that a system is working in and so forth, and people are getting that sense of relief And so the extra days that I'm intending to spend is to ensure that the system kicks in nicely and St. Vincent can take ownership of the process of providing relief service to those who are affected.
And we appreciate your service, and you're always accommodating when we call you, even at last minute. And on behalf of all of us here at GBN, I can say thank you so much for always accommodating us with the requests that we've made of you. Always a pleasure, sir.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Continue to stay safe.
Thank you.
All right. CDEMA's representative in St. Vincent, Superintendent Sylvan McIntyre, a son of the soil, helping with efforts over in the neighboring island. We continue to request of him some information when we can get it, and is always appreciated. Let's take a break, and then when we come back, we're going to link up with Just Cool Media for this morning's traffic cam. This is Good Morning Grenada, Classic GBN Hot 98. We'll be right back.
Do you know what time it is? You guessed right, it's detox time again at Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center and Natural Health Store. Purchase our 7-day cleansing pack for only $500. Includes everything you need for a complete total body cleanse. Cleanse your blood, kidney, liver, and colon. This cleanse will help you lighten up and get rid of the excess. Also available are our special product detox combo pack for only $100. Try our single detox products starting from $40. Check us out now. Belmont St. George's, close to the Fall Edge area, or call us on 231-6642, 449-7753, or 418-7115. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. Detox, your way to health.
It's that time again when you can nominate a person or business making significant contributions to the tourism industry in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique as part of the People's Tourism Choice Awards, Pure Safe Travels Edition. Nominations can be submitted via Grenada Tourism Authority at gmail.com, stating the name and address of the nominee, the category, and a supporting paragraph as to why they should be recognized. Categories include creativity and innovation, new tourism business, virtual leaders, new tours, training, resilience, transportation, service excellence, special awards, and memorabilia or merchandising. Nominations for these categories end on Wednesday, 18th November at midnight. The winners and awards ceremony will be announced at the end of Tourism Awareness Month. Visit www.puregrenada.com/blog for more information. The People's Tourism Choice Awards, Pure Safe Travels Edition. It's now time to link with Just Cool Media for this morning's traffic cam. Let's see where Junior Checkley is taking us this morning. Right now, he's on his way up Marast Hill. Let's hear where we're going.
So we are at junction where they call Jumbie. You're getting the traffic flow a bit. Oh, a man have a flat tire. So we are heading up Marast Hill this morning from Mungie. It's a beautiful Monday. I'm seeing some blue skies, beautiful sunshine. Now we are outside the Westmoreland School. As we see in local terms, we're giving somebody a blight to swing out of a gap. So to all the viewers of GBN TV, GBN Radio, welcome to Monday Morning Traffic Cam. As we traverse from Mungay, we are heading into Grandans. We are going to go down Lotus Lane. We are the Lotus Lane roundabout. And we see there's a lot of traffic coming down the White Gun area this morning. A lot of traffic. And we are heading down the lane, as we just say. Welcome, welcome. And I would like all my viewers, all my listeners to wish Miss Just Cool, Teacher Neela Checkley, happy birthday today. Today is my wife's birthday, and I would like you all to join me in wishing her happy birthday. Hope you have a wonderful day today, my dear. Enjoy your birthday. From all of us, Zach, Zoe, and from all of us, wishing you a happy birthday today. Teacher Neela, happy birthday. So now we are heading down. We just at the intersection with Archibald Avenue. I'm giving somebody a blight to swing out to Archibald Avenue as we head down Lotus Lane this morning. We are just outside of the Anglican High School. So now we are at the Tanty roundabout. We are heading into Grandans this morning on this beautiful Monday. Now we are swinging in. We are turning right to go into the Kirani, into the Allen Francisque roundabout, and then onto the Kirani James Boulevard. On the Kirani James Boulevard, smooth flow of traffic so far. Traffic going into Grandans and traffic coming from Grandans. Smooth flow of traffic this morning. Compared to the last couple of days, this morning is very bright, less hazy than before. So it's a beautiful Monday, beautiful sunshine. Those of you in the cold weather, I'm sending you some beautiful sunshine from Grenada, along with a hot cup of cocoa tea. We are just outside Foodland Supermarket as we are heading down the Kirani James Boulevard to get into Grandans. Not much traffic this morning going into Grandans. And there's a smooth flow of traffic coming out of Grandans, coming into the Kirani James Boulevard this morning. Just to remind all motorists, we are responsible to keep our nations clean, So, as a responsible motorist, we will not throw garbage outside of the vehicles when we are driving along the nation's road, or even allow our passengers to throw garbage out of the moving vehicle. As they say in legal terms, no throwing missiles out of a moving vehicle. Dispose of your garbage properly. Keep Grenada clean. And we are just outside Ross Point. We are just outside Ross Point as we head down south. We are approaching the foliage and we are seeing a smooth flow of traffic continue to come out of Grandans as they head into St. George's to work and school. So for those of you on GBN TV, GBN Radio, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being part of Just School Media Traffic Cam in collaboration with GBN. And hopefully from next week, we'll be giving you some traffic cam from the skies. Hopefully from next week, we'll be giving you some traffic cam from the skies.
Thank you so much to Junior Checkley, Just School Media, for this morning's traffic cam. Traffic heading surprisingly in both directions in the south of the island. It appears to be flowing smoothly, whether you're heading to or from Grandans. So far, the traffic is flowing smoothly. There are vehicles on the road, but they appear to be moving along fine. So those of you who are in the south of the island trying to get to or from the city using the south, keep in mind that yes, there's traffic, but it appears to be flowing smoothly. As soon as I say this, I see Junior stop. That would be around what do they call it again, by almost close to the Grandans post office, heading toward Grandans. The Stones. If you're in that direction, the traffic appears to be stopped just in front of the Stones in the vicinity of the Grandans post office. So keep that in mind, those of you who are using the south of the island and its routes this morning. Heading to town, there's no traffic jam, so it's flowing smoothly. It's 5 minutes to 8, so you should already be at your desk. So you shouldn't be stressing about traffic. if you have to get to work for 8 o'clock, you should be at your desk laughing at people in the traffic, ain't it? That's what I'm saying. So, no need to stress, because 8 o'clock workers, you're already at your desk. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. All right? So, thank you once again to Junior Treckley Just School Media for this morning's traffic cam every Monday and Wednesday, 7:45 a.m. Now, let's make way